Let's just go for it.
Oh wow, they added a so I can't just violate someone's privacy.
Yeah, you can't just sneak up on me. It will really give me a pop-up notification and ask me to continue.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Zencastr does that, because we started with Zencastr and I could just sneak up on you, and then we switched over to Craig on Discord and Craig lets you know, and now Zoom lets you know, because I think in a lot of states it's actually illegal to record someone without their knowledge.
I see. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but when you're dealing with a shady movie producer who you want records for, you know what, he shouldn't say shit if he doesn't want to be recorded. Anyway, we'll see if by the end of the podcast I talk about what's been going on with my movie, because not happy.
Yeah, definitely not happy.
Very angry, actually. Yes. About a lot of stuff. But hello and welcome back to the Real Horrorshow podcast. I'm your host Samantha, joined as always by the Stormy Skies.
Hello all.
So here we are. It's our mini show, and we can finally talk about the Vampire Diaries again.
Yeah, sorry. We did that thing again where we, instead of being proactive and like watching a couple episodes a day or a week, we just didn't watch any until the last minute again.
Yeah, but you know what? It works because it's fresh on our minds, and this is the #1 Vampire Diaries podcast.
Yes. Can you please change our Twitter handle to that now, the #1 Vampire Diaries podcast?
I sure can.
Sorry, Matthew Lillard. We'll go back to Matthew Lillard a little bit later, but you said it.
Let's see. So before we can do Vampire Diaries discussion, we got to pick our next movie, and I was talking to the J-Man, as always.
Wait, you were talking to him, or were you talking to him one way?
We were texting.
Well, don't let all the Christians know that you can actually communicate with him, because they're going to get jealous.
I mean, maybe they should try harder.
Maybe they need to get his cell number.
Yeah. But he said we should try and be a little relevant with the movie we review this week. So he suggested Army of the Dead, the new Zack Snyder flick.
Fun. Well, that just came out, so good on him. That's very relevant.
Yeah, it is currently top 10 in the US. In fact, it is #1 in the US today. And basically, after a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries takes the ultimate gamble by venturing into the quarantine zone for the greatest heist ever. Oh, fucking heist.
A heist?
Sorry.
I didn't know that was going to be the thing.
Sorry, the word heist triggers me now.
What do they need to steal? Oh, I guess they're in Las Vegas. You just steal money and nobody will stop you. So it's not that big of a heist.
Since the trailers seem like these are intelligent zombies, I'm going to guess maybe this takes place a bit into the future of the zombie apocalypse. So maybe there is a decent barter and trade system going on.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe the zombies have evolved a little bit into more intelligent zombies.
And I've talked with friends recently about, dystopian apocalyptic settings and how people always try so hard to survive. And one friend was like, I would just die. Like,
just let myself go.
Yeah, I'm not going to put in that much effort to stay alive during the apocalypse. And I was like, you know what? Valid.
Yeah, from what I've seen, within pop culture and movies on how it's presented to me, it seems like a huge hassle to be alive during the apocalypse and post-apocalyptic anywhere.
It does.
Yikes.
And like,
yeah, go ahead.
Like, I try not to buy canned food. We don't have any like canned vegetables because I don't like them anymore since I started cooking fresh vegetables years ago.
Yeah.
And like, so I would be fucked because we have like primarily fresh stuff except for like canned beans and Tang.
Dang. Yeah, dude, you'd probably have to eat all the beans and then scavenge or starve or steal.
Like sodium levels in the apocalypse are going to just be
Just like
staggering.
Yeah, staggering.
Because you're eating all this
Also,
canned food with so many
yeah.
preservatives.
Oh my God, yeah. Everybody's health is going to be all out of whack. Also, there's something that I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration, and that is if you are an individual who needs to take daily prescription medications, all the doctors and pharmacies and stuff are going to be, I guess, obliterated. So a lot of people actually are surviving on those medications they take daily. So a lot of people are going to get wiped out when they run out of their meds.
Exactly. And if you thought our healthcare system was bad now, it's going to be even worse.
Because it won't be there. So unless you are a trained doctor, then you're kind of fucked if you like get hurt or get sick.
Yeah. Yep. So this movie is 2 hours and 28 minutes long. We always complain when a movie's too long, so we'll see how we feel after this one.
That's like really long.
That's like a full evening.
That's like almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah. And this movie is violent, irreverent, and exciting.
Whenever people say irreverent, I think they're saying irrelevant. And I'm like, well, why are we watching it, Sam, if it's irrelevant?
And you know what? This shit better be exciting if it's almost 3 hours long.
I need to be on the edge of my seat for all 2 hours and 20 whatever minutes of this movie. Yeah. Because I'm sure the credits are 15 minutes.
Yeah. So.
Excellent. Thanks, J-Man.
Yeah. So now it's time for Vampire Diaries. We have finished season 3, and wow, there was so much going on. And so I want to talk about something like behind the scenes regarding Vampire Diaries that I was not aware of until I delved into the world of TikTok.
Yeah.
Apparently, the actress who played Bonnie, I don't have her name up in front of me.
Cat Graham. It's Cat Graham.
Cat Graham. Yeah. Apparently, there was a lot of racism behind the scenes of the Vampire Diaries, and the showrunners were constantly trying to get her off the show, Bonnie's like the best character.
Like, I feel like we really, really need a witch character, and I think she really stands apart so much because she is a Black female witch, and this is awesome, and she's so powerful.
And she's like such a sweetheart.
That too, like, whenever I was watching the last couple episodes, I was like, dude, poor Bonnie. All she does is get like the shaft and like is constantly getting hurt, but she loves her friends so much that she doesn't even care. Yeah.
And I guess they were actually going to fire her at one point, but Ian Summers, or whatever his name is, Damon. Summerhalder. He told producers that if they fired her, he would quit. So
nice. They can't have that. They can't have no Damon.
So Damon's a real bro.
Nice. Thanks, Damon.
Speaking of Damon, he and Elena finally made out.
Yeah, they did. And she finally, like, I'm using air quotes here, chose... Wait, no, she didn't choose him. She chose Stefan.
No, yeah, I think she was choosing Stefan, but it was... Yeah. That's it. It sounded like she was choosing Stefan there at the end because while she loved Damon too, she met Stefan first, so she feels this connection with him. But then we see a flashback and she met Damon first.
Oh my God. So much stuff happens, but the finale of season 3 is so emotional that I literally began to cry. And Sam, I need to bring up something with you because I laughed about this, but whenever listeners, I messaged Sam because I cried because I watched this season finale, but I wanted to let her know I finished. And her and I were talking about all the things that made us sad. Sam, do you want to know the one big thing we didn't mention at all?
What?
That Alaric died.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's like we forgot about that.
Fuck, Alaric died.
Like, for realsies this time, he's not coming back.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
The original witch performed a spell on him that made him the ultimate vampire so he could kill Klause, therefore killing all the other vampires. And so Alark just goes nuts and tells the council, hey, guess what? The mayor and the chief of police, their kids are a werewolf and a vampire respectively.
Yeah.
So you better go kill them. And so Tyler, who I still don't like.
Yeah, I know.
But it's fine because I think he died.
Yeah.
And Caroline try running away.
Mm-hmm.
But because Alark is, I guess, successful in killing Klause, which we know he actually isn't, because otherwise the originals wouldn't exist, the TV show spinoff.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
we know he's coming back at some point.
Yes.
But yeah, after that, Alark dies. And how did he die again?
He died because he
he was connected to Elena. So when Elena died.
Oh my God. Yeah. Elena kind of died. And then he died, but then he came back to life as himself, but he was
a ghost.
He allowed he got turned into a vampire and didn't complete the transition and died that way.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure this is what happened. Yeah, and then he came back as a ghost.
It was very complex and emotional.
Yeah, but it got a little confusing because at this point we're keeping track of Alark, his alter ego who's evil, and then a ghost of Alark that comes by later. But he died, so rest in peace, Alark. But Sam and I didn't really cry about that all too much because after that was when it got like so sad. And like Sam said, Elena does something happens before where she goes into the hospital and somehow she has this random brain hemorrhage.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but she was healed by Dr. Fell, who uses vampire blood to heal her patients. And so little does the viewer know that Elena has vampire blood in her system. She is riding in the truck with Matt, who's trying to rescue her from Mystic Falls. So she's in hiding. But Rebecca,
it's about fucking time.
I know, right? Everyone's like, maybe if we just leave and not tell anybody where we're going, we'll be safe for a while. But they're going for it. Driving across the bridge that her parents and her crashed off of, and they died. They crashed off of it because Rebecca stands in the road and Matt veers off, and they wake up at the bottom of the lake, and there's this scene where we see both things happening at the same time. Elena's flashback of her parents literally drowning in front of her and her getting saved by Stefan, mm-hmm. which her father tells him to save her and not him. And then her telling Stefan to save Matt, and then her getting saved, but she drowns. And then we see at the end of the episode, she wakes back up because she's a vamp. We find out that she can't die. She's a vampire.
Because Alark's girlfriend cheats death for her patients by giving them vampire blood.
Yeah, the vampire blood.
You can't really blame her. She didn't expect Elena to plummet off the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? So that happened, and that was a sad moment. But the other big sad moment was I thought Matt was going to drown, and I was not ready to let go of him.
I would not have been ready to let go of Matt. Someone needs to just turn him into a vampire so we don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, someone needs to really protect Matt. He is so sweet and pure. And the other sad thing was that we did get to see this. I thought it was some sort of a parallel universe before. I thought it was the show showing us what it would have been like if she met Damon first. Mm-hmm. But we see that it's actually a flashback. She meets Damon before Stefan on the same night they get into the car accident, and Damon makes Elena forget.
Yeah.
So wow, there's this huge thing where we're like, what if? And
Damon's regretting it now.
I know. And Elena remembers now that she's a vampire, so
oh fuck.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, she starts to have her memories come back later, and so now there's this whole thing of who regrets what, and this big what if. Is Stefan really her true love? Is Damon, it's always going to be this weird love triangle that's happening.
Yeah.
But that was the end of season 3, so
yeah, season 3 was good.
It was really, really good. I'm really enjoying this show more than I ever thought I would.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes. Oh, wait, there's something I really need to talk to you about, because I made note of this, because I feel like when you see it, you might want to talk about it too, but I feel like you and I just forget, because it happens every once in a blue moon, but it happens.
Is it the fact that the day after Elena, Stefan, and Damon try to kill the originals, they're back at school planning another Decades dance, and Rebecca's just there all chill?
Oh my God.
Like,
I know, everyone's super chill. They're like, I just want to be back at school because I want to have a normal day. And I'm like,
I want
how
a
many
20s
days
dance.
Yeah, how many days of school have you missed? Like, do you even go to school when you're supposed to, or do you just go when you feel like it? But the funniest thing about that scene when they were doing the 20s dance is when Matt said, why don't we celebrate both decades? Like, just fucking cracks me up. People have these really funny one-liners that just sneak up on me.
Yeah.
But no, Sam, that's not what I was talking about. What I was talking about was their use of high-tech gadgets. Have you noticed that every time there's a new updated cool technology thing, they highlight it for a moment? Like whenever, I feel there's this one part where Klause was texting, and I guess the stylus was just invented for the smartphone. He wrote with the stylus and sent it as a text message. I don't know if you remember that part.
Yeah. That's the thing about these teen CW shows is
yeah,
they always have to pause and show the newest cell phone sponsor. The OC is one of my favorite shows of all time, and there's this one episode where they go to Los Angeles and run into Paris Hilton, and instead of an autograph, she takes a picture with her flip phone.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I guess, in 2004, when it came out, 2004, 2005, a camera phone was the hot new technology to have.
Yeah, but and they keep doing it in the Vampire Diaries. Like, they did it with a stylus. They do it with Bonnie, because Bonnie is looking at a phone and they're like, oh, well, look, you have a GPS thing on your phone where you can find people with the phones on them.
She's also just a witch and could find people that way.
I know, but then they're like, oh, well, look, I could do it digitally. And then there's another time when every time someone calls someone's phone, they all have Androids now. So it's the super old school Android logo with a green robot. What else? I remember one time, I don't know what episode it was, but I guess Skype just happened, or Skype was hot because Jeremy did a Skype call with Bonnie and Elena was on the Skype call, and they're like, oh, we just want to cheer you up. So surprise, we can video call on our laptops. How about that? And then the last big one that I remember is one time Caroline was driving in her car and she called someone from her car radio phone. I was like, whoa, all this new tech.
Hottest technology of 2010.
I know. One of my favorite shows on TV was The Following. And I remember I guess this was whenever Windows 10 had just hit shelves. Every episode in this one season, they're constantly on these tablets and they'll linger on the home screen to show everybody that they're on a Windows 10 device before they do something. And I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. But I had to bring that up. So now you really have to look out for it. That's all I have to say about that, though. But
yeah.
Loving Vampire Diaries. Loving it. And can't wait to watch this very long horror movie. That'll be really, really fun. It should be, It should at least be fun.
They're promising violence, irreverency, and excitement.
Excitement. Okay, so violence and excitement. And okay, I can deal with that. So let's make it a point to watch this movie, be on the edge of our seat for 3 hours, and we'll talk about it with you listeners to let you know if it's worth it. But don't wait for us to tell you. You guys should also watch it in preparation for our next episode.
Yeah.
Any other new news to talk about?
You know what? I don't give a shit anymore. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Right.
So at this point, we all know Sam's play is being adapted into a movie.
Yes.
And it's been kind of a shitty experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Finally watched a cut of the movie.
I've yet to watch it, but please go on.
Message redacted.
But more on that as it develops.
It develops. Yep.
Anyway, sorry to end on such an angry note, but I wanted to share what's going on since we do have a small following and film review friends.
Right, and you do discuss it a little bit as we go through the minisode, so it's good to have the viewers updated a little bit about their reality. If anybody is out there who is also trying to be, a playwright, just, this is an awful thing that's happening, but please just be aware that this is a possibility, so just be careful.
Yeah, and for funsies, make sure you read everything you sign or don't sign.
Right.
And keep in mind that if you didn't sign anything, that might be bad news for someone.
Right.
Anyway, I think that wraps things up.
Anyway, guys, watch Army of the Dead. 3 hours of fun-filled heist fun.
And I promise I'll be in a better mood next week.
Yes. By next week, it'll all have blown over and we'll have a new issue to discuss.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, season 4 of Vampire Diaries, let's go ahead and start it up so we don't have to be behind again.
Yeah, we're gonna be behind.
Yeah, we're gonna be behind.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool.
Bye.
All right, bye guys.
I love the creepy doll that always follows